Have you ever asked yourself why some people rise above adversity while others crumble under its weight? Why is it that in the face of pain, real, raw, and unrelenting, some stand firm while others flee, make excuses, or fall silent? What if I told you the difference isn't strength, but perspective? This video isn't about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. No more excuses, no more noise, just you, your will, and the fire that forges you. If you're ready to reclaim your life with courage and discipline, subscribe now. We're not here to escape reality, we're here to face it head on. Let's begin. 1. Amor fati, fall in love with the fire. What if you could look at every hardship, every betrayal, every ounce of suffering, and smile? That's what the Stoics meant by amor fati, love of fate. But this phrase is more than poetic. It is a profound way of living, thinking, and surviving in a world that doesn't always make sense. At its core, amor fati is not about blind acceptance or helpless resignation. It's about taking life as it comes, all of it, and making something meaningful from it. Most people want to control life. They want comfort, predictability, and success on their terms. But the Stoic sees that we control very little. We don't choose when illness strikes, when people betray us, or when tragedy arrives uninvited. What we do choose is how we respond. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, suffered deeply. Plagues ravaged his empire, his health declined, and he buried several of his children. Yet he didn't grow bitter. He wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. That is amor fati, turning the unfairness of life into fuel, using grief as a forge, loss as a lesson." It takes courage to adopt this mindset. It means no longer playing the victim, no longer asking, "Why me?" but instead asking, "What now?" Life becomes not a series of obstacles, but opportunities. Even pain in this light becomes sacred, something to learn from, something to embrace. When Nietzsche revived the idea of amor fati, he called it the formula for greatness. He said, "My formula for human greatness is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." This isn't to say we celebrate tragedy. It means we accept it without resistance and find strength in that acceptance. To fall in love with the fire is to become fire. You don't fear the heat anymore because you know that you are forged in it. You are not merely a survivor of your hardships, you are refined by them. Like a sword, tested in flames, you emerge sharper, stronger, more capable. We live in an age that often seeks comfort over character, but comfort never made anyone strong. It is adversity that sharpens the soul. Amor fati means falling in love with reality, even when it's cruel, especially when it's cruel. This is not masochism, it's meaning-making. It's saying, this pain has a place. It belongs, because it is mine, and I will not only endure it, I will learn from it, grow from it, be changed by it. You may not control the fire, but you can control what you do in it. You can rise, you can endure. You can choose to see life not as something that happens to you, but something that happens for you. Your pain is not your prison, it's your pathway. Learn to love the fire, because that's where you're forged. 2. Mind over pain. Command the inner battlefield. Pain is real. The sting in your muscles, the ache in your heart, the anxiety that keeps you up at night, all of it is real. But suffering? That's where the Stoics make a distinction. Suffering is not just what happens to you, it's what you allow to persist in your mind. Epictetus, born into slavery, lived through unimaginable physical pain and emotional degradation. Yet he said, It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those things. Pain is inevitable, but torment is a choice. This is not to downplay trauma or mental anguish. It is to remind you that the battlefield begins in the mind, and it is there that your freedom lies. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Pain may attack the gates. It may find cracks in the wall. But whether it overruns you or not, that depends on whether you've prepared your defenses. Stoic training is not about pretending you're invincible. It's about preparing so that, when life gets hard, you are not caught off guard. In modern life, this means facing our inner struggles with clarity and courage. When anxiety strikes, the Stoic does not collapse. They breathe. They anchor themselves in the present. They say, "This is difficult, but I am not broken." When your heart is shattered and grief grips your chest, the Stoic does not deny the pain. They feel it. They let it pass through them like a storm, but they do not let it define them, because their identity is not pain, it is resilience. Pain is a teacher, and like all good teachers, it doesn't go easy on you. It tests your limits, your patience, your discipline. But the Stoic learns to say, "Teach me. Let the hardship reveal what I am made of." There is immense power in reclaiming agency over your suffering. When you stop asking life to be painless and start asking yourself to be strong, everything changes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's not just philosophy, that's a superpower. You can reframe, you can reinterpret, you can say, "Yes, this hurts, but it does not have to undo me." Your body may shake, your heart may race, but your mind stays still, unbroken, unconquered. 3. No excuses, no delays, just movement. There will always be reasons not to act. Pain gives you a long list. "I'm tired. This isn't fair. Maybe tomorrow." But the Stoic doesn't live by feelings. The Stoic lives by principles. One of those principles is action, immediate, unflinching action. In the modern world, we are taught to wait until we feel ready. We wait for motivation, for the perfect plan, for the ideal time. But the Stoic knows motivation is unreliable. Discipline is not. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, faced exile, loss of wealth, and political disgrace. What did he do? He wrote, "Every day, he trained his mind while others gave up," because he understood that life isn't about what you feel, it's about what you do. The Stoic warrior wakes up sore and still trains. The Stoic artist feels uninspired and still creates. The Stoic parent is exhausted and still shows up for their child. There are no excuses. There is only the next step. When things get hard, many people freeze. They retreat into comfort, distraction, or self-pity. But the Stoic moves, even if it's a small step, even if it's imperfect, because movement is power. Motion is how we reclaim momentum. You don't need the entire staircase, just the next step. This attitude doesn't come naturally. It's built through repetition, through choosing action over avoidance, clarity over confusion, responsibility over resentment. You don't need another plan. You don't need another pep talk. You need execution, that email, that workout, that apology, that uncomfortable conversation. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Movement is the medicine. The Stoic understands that life will rarely feel ideal, so they stop waiting. They begin. Again and again. When athletes are injured, they train what they can. When artists are heartbroken, they create through the pain. When the world feels heavy, the Stoic lifts anyway, not with emotion, but with effort. And when progress is slow, they don't complain. They don't seek sympathy. They work, silently, relentlessly. Because they know this truth: consistency beats intensity. What matters is not how loudly you roar, but how often you show up. No noise, no excuses, no delays, just work, just effort, just forward, step by step, day by day, until pain becomes purpose, until purpose becomes power. 4. The power of stillness in a chaotic world. The world we live in today is louder than ever. Notifications buzz in our pockets. News headlines scream crises by the minute. Social media amplifies both our triumphs and our insecurities. There is a constant pressure to be someone, to say something, to react immediately. Deadlines loom. Expectations weigh heavy. Fear seeps in quietly. Doubt clings like fog. In this whirlwind of noise and demand, stillness might seem like a luxury few can afford. But for the Stoic, stillness is not only essential, it is sacred. Stillness is not inaction. It is not laziness, avoidance, or apathy. True stillness, as understood by the Stoics, is a profound internal state of composure, control, and clarity. It is the space between stimulus and response where wisdom lives. In that quiet moment, the Stoic chooses action, not reaction. Direction, not drift. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm. Winds swirl violently in all directions. Trees bend, rain slams the earth. Yet in the center, there is calm. That calm is not weakness. It is not denial. It is power. The Stoic cultivates that same calm in the center of chaos. While the world shouts, the Stoic listens. While others rage, the Stoic reflects. And in that space of stillness, the Stoic whispers, "I remain." This isn't about suppressing emotion. Stoicism never demanded that we become robots, void of feeling. Rather, it teaches us to become masters of our inner world, even as the outer world tries to pull us apart. Stillness allows us to observe our emotions without becoming enslaved by them. When anger rises, the Stoic breathes deeply and examines it. When fear creeps in, the Stoic welcomes it as a messenger, not a master. In modern life, stillness can look like turning off your phone for an hour. It can be walking in nature without music or podcasts. It can be journaling before the day begins or meditating before sleep. But more than a ritual, it's a mindset, a way of holding yourself steady when the world begs you to panic. Stillness gives you clarity. In the midst of decisions, it prevents haste. In conflict, it cools the heat of words that can't be taken back. In sorrow, it offers space to process, not suppress. Stillness is not a pause from life. It is what allows you to live with intention rather than impulsiveness. The ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius practiced stillness while ruling an empire. Seneca found it in contemplation, even as political threats surrounded him. Epictetus, born into slavery, carried stillness in his mind while his body remained in bondage. If they could access that peace, what excuse do we have? This inner silence is your sanctuary. It is where your real strength lives, not in how loudly you can speak, but in how calmly you can listen. It is not about disengaging from the world, but about engaging with it wisely. Stillness lets you see through the noise to what actually matters. It strips away the performative urgency of the modern age and brings you face to face with the eternal truths: who you are, what you value, and how you want to live. So when the storm rages, don't react. Breathe. When emotions flare, don't lash out. Observe. When the world screams for your attention, listen instead to the quiet whisper within: I remain. That is the power of stillness, not just surviving the chaos, but choosing not to be owned by it. 5. Challenge yourself daily. Reflect. Adjust. Rise. Growth does not happen by chance. It's not a product of wishful thinking or passive waiting. It's engineered by you through conscious decisions made every single day. The Stoic path isn't paved in comfort. It is carved through confrontation with difficulty, discomfort, and the ever-present resistance that tries to keep you stagnant. That's why the Stoic doesn't avoid challenge. They seek it. Every day is an opportunity to test the self, to sharpen the mind, to stretch the spirit. Growth isn't accidental, it's intentional. It is the product of deliberate daily choices that stretch you beyond your current limits. Cold showers, early mornings, honest journaling, difficult conversations, showing up when you don't feel like it. These aren't just habits, they are daily battles. And every battle builds something inside you. Every discomfort is a rep. Every moment of resistance you overcome is training for the next. Like a muscle, the will must be exercised, and every obstacle is an invitation to grow stronger. The Stoic doesn't just survive hardship, they transform through it. They look at every failure and ask, what did I learn? They revisit each mistake and ask, where can I improve? This is the discipline of self-examination. Without it, we risk drifting. With it, we rise. Daily reflection is the key. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I choose courage over comfort? Did I let fear win? What can I do better tomorrow? This isn't about self-criticism, it's about self-awareness. The Stoic trains like a warrior, not just physically but mentally and morally. They train for patience, for resilience, for calm under pressure. In this way, life becomes a dojo, a place of constant practice. The minor inconveniences, the big failures, the awkward moments, all are teachers, all are tools. If you approach each one with the right mindset, they shape you, they refine you. They mold you from something breakable into something anti-fragile, stronger because of the pressure, not in spite of it. This isn't romantic, it's hard. It requires discipline. Waking up early when your body wants more sleep, holding your tongue when your ego wants to lash out, apologizing when it would be easier to defend your pride, choosing what's right over what's easy, again and again. But this is the path. This is how you go from fragile to unshakable. Life will not get easier, challenges will not disappear, people will still disappoint you. Unexpected events will still occur, but you will get better. That's the Stoic secret, not a life free of pain, but a spirit so well trained that nothing can break it. It's not about being perfect, it's about being committed. The Stoic rises every time they fall, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand its value. Failure is not final, it's feedback. The discipline is in showing up again, learning again, adjusting again. This is self-mastery. It's not flashy, it's not instant, but it is powerful, and it compounds. One disciplined morning leads to a clearer afternoon. One act of courage today prepares you for a greater challenge tomorrow. Over time, these small moments forge a person who is calm under pressure, strong in adversity, and grounded in principle. So challenge yourself daily. Don't wait for life to test you. Test yourself. Lean into discomfort. Confront the hard things. Reflect on them. Learn from them. Adjust your course, then rise again and again. That is how the Stoic becomes unbreakable. This is the way forward. Here's the truth. You will suffer, you will fail, you will face pain, but you get to choose. Will it break you or build you? The Stoics left a blueprint, one that turns adversity into advantage, pain into purpose, and chaos into clarity. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, you don't need noise, you don't need excuses, you need courage, you need action, you need you. If this resonated, subscribe for more. But don't just listen, live it. Push through the pain with your head high. Because this is the Stoic path.